What's up YouTube, Amisbro here. For this video we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to actually be talking about pro wrestling. Haven't done one of these videos in a while. But there's a good reason. Professional wrestling company New Japan Pro has recently opened up their own streaming service, excuse me, called New Japan, or NJPW World rather. And I'll actually put the link down here to, if you want to go sign up for it, and I'll also give you a link that shows you, translate basically what all the stuff says on the sign up sheet. But it's interesting because they said they're going to have stuff from at least 1972 on there. They're also, interestingly enough, going to be showing, in Japanese of course, the Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-view, which is coming up on January the 4th, which is going to be on American pay-per-view. But they're also going to be able to show on there something called Fantastic Mania, the G1 Climaxes, the Power Struggle pay-per-views, just to name a few. The cool thing about this is, and I was thinking, and I want you to think about this real quick. If you get this network, right, the G1 Climax, these past 2 years that they've ran it on iPay-per-view, through their Ustream channel, which is now closed, was $150 to $110, $150. It was $150 2 years ago, $110 this past year. Well, now if you get this network, you could pay as low as the current conversion from what I've seen, $8.38, which is actually $1 cheaper than the WWE network. And there's a conversion for the US, Canada, and even the UK. So those of you out there in the UK who are pissed off that WWE is digging around with you as far as the WWE network, there's this. Now, what do I think? Well, I am going to be watching the big Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-view on January the 4th for the first time. So that's going to be fun. I'm also interested in this network because I grew up watching pro wrestling. Okay? I didn't grow up with sports entertainment. I grew up with wrestling. The problem is, every professional wrestling company virtually now, because everybody virtually knows it's fake, they don't try, really. Have you ever seen or ever watched a New Japan match or even a women's match over there, which they call Joshis? If you haven't, do yourself a favor, Google New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then just be prepared to be friggin' amazed. Because the fact of the matter is you take at least two wrestlers, you put them in a ring, and you watch them just beat the living fuck out of each other for at least, oh, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes, 30, maybe more. And these guys have matches which they may have some gimmick matches depending on the promotion you're watching in Japan, like barbed wire and shit. But they also have really unique style matches like, there's going to be one at this Wrestle Kingdom which is interesting. It's a match which can only be won by submission or knockout. No joke. The only way you can win it. You either make somebody say uncle or you knock them the hell out. We don't do that here in America. Or if we do, we over gimmick it so much to the point where your suspension of disbelief is gone. Just gone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to tell you that, yeah, I am seriously looking forward to this, just because it's like WWE needs competition. Fact. It needs competition from a company. Now, New Japan also, by the way, has a TV deal coming up in January for 13 weeks with the company formerly known as HDNet, now called Axis or AXS, where for 13 weeks they're going to be showing, they're basically going to be showing matches from some of the bigger shows that have happened from 2013, I think. 2013, 2014. And you know what? For some people, that's kind of a downer. But for me, I'm actually excited for one huge reason. I've never gotten to see the matches before. They are going to have English commentary, so that's pretty cool. But like I said, to be able to see some of these matches, if you've never seen them before, it's kind of like it's like with this network. You can be able to go back and relive some of the older shows, and you can also watch the more current programming that they do. And I think from what I've heard, they do a thing sometimes where they're going to be showing like shows that have no commentary at all. It's just basically showing you a house show. That's freaking cool. I can deal with that. I don't know if WWE's ever done that before. Just show you like a house show and no commentary. What? I mean, you know. I mean, here in in the Philadelphia area, we used to have what was it, Spectrum Wrestling, and they always had a commentator at ringside. It wasn't like you were watching just a straight out house show. So, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, with this new network and with the January 4th pay-per-view, just because it's something different. And I have been wanting to watch pro wrestling, but, you know, for me, pro wrestling has always been the Crockett's and the NWA and Mid-South and, you know, the Jarretts with, you know, Memphis and CWA and even World Class. I mean, when I grew up watching wrestling, this is the thing. Where I live was a very unique circumstance because we got TBS, so we got, you know, obviously we got the NWA shows. We got, what else do we get? We got the Ganyas towards the end of the AWA run, and we had World Class, you know, on ESPN. So we had a good variety. Oh, and we also had on Sports Channel we had ECW, which was at first Eastern Championship Wrestling, and then became ECW, you know, Extreme. And I wasn't a big fan of ECW, but I loved like the other promotions, the other territories growing up. And then, of course, it became WCW versus WWF, and I was for the most part loyal for a while to the WCW brand. The only reason anybody watches WWF now, for the most part, not because they're really a fan of it, because if they want to watch wrestling outside of going on the internet, it's the only game in town, really. It just is, unless you live someplace where you get like local TV, like you get Ohio Valley, or you'll get one of the local NWA promotions that are still floating around. And the NWA is not dead. It just doesn't have the name like it maybe used to back in the day. But it's far from dead. Well, let's just be clear on that. You know, I see people when, who is it? Bruce Stark does those videos for New Japan's YouTube channel, and people say, well, I didn't know the NWA was still relevant, because in their mind it isn't. It's just not. If you were to look up like NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, and you looked up the number of territories they had active, you'd be amazed. They maybe just don't draw like they used to. Because, you know, it's 2014 and then they're trying, but most people still are deadly loyal to the WWE product. But to get back to the original point of the video, let me ask this question. And I will put the link, by the way, to the guide on how to sign up for the network, and also put the link to the network, the new streaming network, down below. But let me ask a question to you. What do you think about the idea of New Japan Pro Wrestling opening up its own streaming network? I'm guessing, for anybody who's wondering, I'm guessing that if you live outside Japan, you can watch it. I wouldn't see why not. The only thing you have to remember is if you live on the East Coast, because of daylight savings time, we are currently 12 hours behind them as opposed to 11. So say a show comes on at like, just give it time, 7 o'clock in the evening, right? That's like 5 a.m. here. So, but I'm sure we'll go in the on-demand section if you wanted to watch it. I just don't know what the delay is going to be on that. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to see like Wrestle Kingdom on there, that's like what's interesting though. They're going to put Wrestle Kingdom on there, and it's effectively going to be less to watch it through that than it's going to be to watch it on traditional pay-per-view, which is what Global Force wants to do. But obviously most people are going to probably watch the Global Force show because they'll have Jim Ross on it, which I'm ecstatic about. But, you know, outside of that, there's going to be, of course, the Fantastic Mania shows, which people will want to watch. There'll be the other shows, you know, like, what is it, Invasion Attack, The New Beginning, which is a show that they do in February. Believe it or not, check this out. I actually read up on this. A little education time. Wrestle Kingdom is their big show of the year that they do in January. In February is effectively when they restart their pay-per-view calendar with the New Beginning pay-per-view. So, something, it's a little piece of information that I researched for y'all. But again, question is, are you going to be picking up the network if you can get it? And if not, why or why not? Let me know what y'all think, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.